Hey, I'm Ben from NYTOP. We're going to be installing this rear shock mount skid on a 4Runner today. In addition to the 6th gen 4Runner, these parts also fit the 4th gen Tacoma and the current GX550 and Land Cruiser platforms. The only tools you're going to need for this installation are an 18mm socket wrench and an 18mm open wrench. We use just a few simple bolts here. We have one that goes all the way across like so. And then there's two smaller ones down here that are going to thread into some tapped holes to make it really easy to install. Alright, we're going to start with just the long M12 bolt, and we're going to push it in through the top slot. We're just going to take a washer and a nut for the other side. We're just going to hand thread those on first. And then we'll take our two smaller M12 bolts, and those are going to go in these lower holes down here and just thread into those tapped sheet metal bits. One on the outer side and one on the inner side. Just like that. And then we'll just go ahead and tighten everything down. Alright, we're going to torque this top bolt, the long one, down to 75 foot-pounds. Go. And then these lower shorter bolts are going to be torqued down to 23 foot-pounds. Once everything is torqued down, you're going to move on to the other side and repeat the same steps. Make sure your bolts are threading smoothly by hand first. If you feel any resistance, try to back them out and realign them to avoid any cross-threading. The only tools you're going to need for this installation are 16 and 18mm sockets, a socket wrench, two 16mm open wrenches, and an 18mm open wrench. Alright, in addition to the 6th gen 4Runner, these parts also fit the 4th gen Tacoma and the current GX550 and Land Cruiser platforms. So for this, we're going to take our long M10 bolt, and then this is going to go through this top slot on our skid by placing the spacer inside the slot and then pushing that up. Go. Then we're going to let that dangle there. And we're going to take our other spacer, do our best to slide that in through the opposite side. Go, got it through the spacer, go all the way through here. There we go. And we can take our M10 washer and nut, and we're going to hand thread those onto the other side. Alright, so this is another tricky little area. You're going to take your M12 nut and washer, as well as the M12 bolt and washer. You're going to take the washer and insert it just above this hole right here. You're going to insert the washer from the bottom, and you're going to take the nut and place the nut where it should be on the top, and then you're going to pinch that in place, and we're going to take our short M12 bolt and we're just going to try and thread that in. There we go. And then we're going to repeat the same thing for the other side. We're going to go in through the top this time, and then our bolt's going to go in on the bottom, just like that again. Awesome. So we'll actually need two 16mm wrenches for this bolt up here. We're going to go ahead and tighten this guy down. We're going to need our 18mm socket and our 18mm wrench in order to sneak up in here. Tighten down these two M12 bolts. So we're going to set our torque wrench to 75 foot-pounds for these big M12 bolts down here. This top bolt up here isn't quite accessible with a torque wrench, but you should be fine just by hand tightening it down. Alright, so to start off with this piece, we're actually going to go ahead and thread in this block first on the inside right here. We're going to take our small M10 bolt, we're going to thread that in through the bottom, up into the tapped hole on the plate. So you just want to get that so that it's stuck on there, it's not going to fall off. We want the bolt to slide in through here and the plate to slide up and over into this area. So we're going to put some pressure on the bolt so that the plate will sit up. We want the long way here to slide into the slot. So we're going to put some pressure up on the bolt, and then we're going to slide it back, and then that should be able to tighten without the plate rotating. A little more. Just going to hold it in place. All right, now that you have the plate inserted, you can take your long M12 bolt with a washer on it and throw it in through the top slot on the side. And then we're just gonna carefully fit this nut in. We're gonna take our 18mm socket and our 18mm open wrench. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this guy down. Now we're gonna go ahead and torque our M12 bolt down to 75 foot-pounds. And we're gonna tighten this little M10 guy down to 15 foot-pounds. That's gonna do it for this installation. I'm Ben from NYTOP, and we hope you get out and hit the trail to try our new skids.